All right. Hey, I was on an airplane this morning. I'm down in Mount Dora, Florida, for my buddy's wedding, and I was thinking, I was like, ah, fuck, I have to send you what to do in Puerto Rico. So I wrote down a list. They'll walk you through a bunch of stuff here. So let me share my screen. This is Shack's Beach. This is where you'll be staying at Via Tropical. All these houses are right here at Via Tropical. I have it in paint because I want to show you kind of circle some things around here. So when you were staying here, all this beachfront is great. Right here, you'll see there's a swimming hole. You usually see people hanging out there, but that is where to swim. It's the best place to swim. Currents are pretty light. All this space here is good to swim. And the reason why you want to swim in these areas and not here or any of this is all this area are full of urchins. So I don't know if you ever had a sea urchin step on one. It fucking sucks. You get a bunch of barbs in your foot and they're next to impossible to get out. So you definitely want to avoid these areas, at least walking on the rocks, because they hide underneath the rocks. Um, but if you get a snorkel mask, all this area, pretty good snorkeling. You see some octopus, see some fish, things like that. You see these holes here. This is one of the blue holes, another hole right here. We do some scuba diving. So I don't know if you're scuba certified, but really good scuba diving here. It's about 30 feet deep. All underneath this, you got some good caves to dive through. We do it at least once or twice this year. We're actually going to do a night dive, so I'm pretty stoked about that. If you're not scuba certified and you just want to grab a snorkel, you can make your way there right here or right here, but only during high tide. And so you see these white caps right here. That means that the current's coming in, it's pretty high. It gets kind of rough. So if you're not a really good swimmer, you want to avoid these areas. If we're snorkeling, what we typically do is we walk all the way down to here. We walk out here and then we just float down this way. And then we end up back in the swimming area right here. You do have to watch out for sea urchins when you're walking in the rocks here, but we kind of stick our mask down and see what try to see where we're walking. It is a bit of a risk, but it is what it is. This area, so again, swimming holes right here. All of this area is high current. You don't want to swim here. You don't want to really do anything here. If you get a stand-up paddle board, which Via Tropical, I believe, has a few, you can paddle out here, but just know the current's going this way. And if there's a strong current, it's going to pull you out, not out to the ocean, but more down the beach, which it's not the worst thing in the world. But I remember the first time I surfed out here, because right here is where you surf. You'll see a lot of surfers right here. You're kind of protected from the current. Didn't know that. I grabbed my surfboard. I paddled out. I was over here, and all of a sudden the current took me out. Next thing I know, I look up from paddling. I was like, holy fuck. I was like halfway down or half a mile down the beach. Had to take your surfboard, walk it back. It's a pain in the ass. Just you don't want to do that. If you are interested in surfing, I do not recommend surfing here. It's not a very beginner-friendly surf. Even though if you've seen surfers out there, there's other spots that will show you where to surf. While we're looking at the map here or at the picture, this last house right here, there's a little wall, and right next to it is a restaurant called Eclipse. It's part of a hotel chain called Via Montana. It's a 5-star resort. This restaurant is excellent. It's usually what we save for the last night of the trip because it's a little bit nicer place. You get some fresh fish, some decent cocktails. Sometimes we'll go more than one time on the trip. This year I'm there for 3 months or 3 weeks, so I'm probably going to go there more. But usually on our 1 week long trip, that we stay that for the end. So highly recommend you go to Eclipse at Via Tropical. Let me pull up another. We got a bunch of pictures here to show you. Actually, let me do this. Let me show you the map. Nope, I want to not share this anymore. Okay, nope. I'm on Zoom all day long. I don't understand why this isn't working. Okay, so here's the map. I think it's important to show you this piece because I don't know what time you're getting into Shack's Beach, right? But if I zoom out, right, it's a good hour 45-minute to 2-hour drive from San Juan. You're basically going to take Highway 2 all the way down to Isabela, Aguadilla area. This whole area, they call it the fisheye, that's pretty much where you'll be hanging out. Arecibo here is there's some cool stuff, but if you're there just a limited time, just focus on Shack's Beach and everything else I'm going to tell you to do. So, so zooming in, most likely you're going to take Highway 2 to right here, and you're going to go through Isabella, and then take this little road right here is a really cool road. You're right along the beachfront. If during the day, you're going to see amazing views of the ocean. You'll see amazing views of the ocean all throughout Highway 2. If it's nighttime, gets a little hairy, but just follow your GPS, you'll be perfectly fine. Why I want to zoom in here is, right, so you see Via Montana, that's right next to where you'll be staying. So when you're on this 459, you're coming through, there's this sharp turn, and let me double check here. Oh, sorry, you'll be on 4466. That's what it is. So you're coming around here. This road right here is what's going to take you to Via Tropical. Via Tropical is all these areas right here. Right. So there's this sharp right. If you continue going left, and if you miss it, you'll notice you're going to be going up kind of like a mountain, hill, whatever you want to call it. So if you're going up that, you're past it. So you got to turn back around, and this is the area right here. You'll go down and you'll take it, and then you'll see where to park. And then Via Tropical, they do a good job telling you which unit is yours, give you the keys and where to park and whatnot. Ola Lola's, this is my friend's place. We used to be friends with the old owners, and the new owners took over a couple of years ago. They're from Wisconsin. Stephanie and Jordan are their names. They're mid-30s, I think. Fantastic people. The staff, there's Sarah and there's Veru, Vero. Really, really good people there. It's a tiki hut. We go there at least, if we're there for a week, we go there at least 3 or 4 times. I'll be there for 3 weeks. I'll probably go there 10 times. It's just our spot to go to. It's real outdoor. I'll show you some pictures in a bit. I'll shoot you a text as well, because if you are going to go there, when you go there, I want you to say, hey, I was told my name is up on the wall. That's all you need to say, and then you'll have a nice surprise with that. So so that's the area there. You got hobos, Playa Hobos here. This is a local hangout. You'll see surfers out here, Tsunami. There's a couple nightlife bars here. A little bit of local, a little touristy. If you're not there on the weekend, it's going to be very quiet. If you're there on the weekend, it's kind of a scene. You got to watch yourself. This whole area of Puerto Rico is some of the best people, some of the friendliest people, but it's still just like any other place. We've gotten into some shit with some people here because people get drunk and whatnot, but it's still a fun place to hang out if you want to do that. Pulling the map here. So again, you come back up. Here's the road where you come up, and this is where you're going up the mountain. Hopefully you can see my mouse. You come up to 110, right? 110 is the main thoroughfare through this part of Aguadilla. This is the airport right here, right? So you're going through 110, and this is where you'll see your restaurants. You got a grocery store right in this area right here. You have, let me think about this. Stay away from the Thai place. It used to have excellent, literally the best Thai food we've ever had anywhere in the world. They took different owners, they sold it, and different owners took over, and it sucks. It doesn't suck. It's just not as good as it was. Cinco, you'll see a big 5. Cinco's got really good food. What else did I write on my list here? Eclipse. Oh, you have a coffee truck on the right side. So that's the north side of the street, somewhere in this area. So if you want coffee in the mornings, it's like a little trailer, kind of like food truck type thing. Before the food truck, you'll see another food truck that's called Arepas, Arepas. It's a Venezuelan taco. Even though it's not Puerto Rican, it's damn good. And make sure you get I think it's called the super cookie or something like that. It's also highly recommended. Tulum Restaurant and Tequila Bar. This has opened up in the last couple of years. We haven't been yet, but we've heard great things. We hear it's a good scene for nightlife. Keep in mind, this is not a huge nightlife area. On the weekends, it definitely gets up, but it's not like San Juan. Grocery store, coffee truck, arepas. Actually, I got to back up. Almost forgot to tell you about some of the best empanadas you'll ever have. All right, so we go back again. If you get lost and Via Tropical is not pulling up on your GPS, which it should, type in Ola Lola's Tiki Bar, and then you'll know that's the main street right there. Right, so here's that little side road where you get in there. This La Terrera de los Surfers, see that little shack right there? This is some of the best empanadas, some of the fresh empanadas you will ever have. You get fresh seafood. They got octopus seafood. I mean, they've got everything. You know, they got chicken, beef, and whatnot, but they have fresh octopus, pulpo, different types of fish, crab, etc. Just make sure you go there closer to the afternoon. Like this is a good afternoon spot. You don't want to go there to the end of the day because then everything's kind of getting stale and whatnot. So we got that piece there. Now, if you want to, let me take you down. Absolutely highly recommend you go to Surfers Beach and Survival Beach, right? So you literally can type in those into your GPS. So there's a couple of ways to get down there, right? But this area here, you got the local college, University of Puerto Rico, Aguadilla is in here. You got the Air Force or Army Reserve Base in there, but there's kind of like a neighborhood right here. So whatever way to get there, but you end up hitting, let me see here, courtyard, you got a surf, here we go. You got a surf shop if you want surf souvenirs, Surf Zone. It's probably the best surf shop in the areas where we usually rent our surfboards if we don't bring our own surfboards. So stop in there, you know, pick up some souvenirs. They got some cool stuff there. If you need extra shorts or bikinis or flip flops, that's a good place to go. If you do want to rent surfboards and not take lessons, I don't think I asked you if you know how to surf or not. So apologize for assuming if you surf or don't surf, but if you know how to surf, rent the surfboards there. You got to rent it online. They got a plethora of different really good surfboards. If you're not a really good surfer, accomplished surfer, never done it before, get a longboard. And when I say longboard, I say at least 9 foot long. If you know how to surf, then disregard everything I'm saying. So you go past Surf Zone and you go down you're going down the hill, just wind around to Surfers Beach. There's a parking lot at Surfers Beach. This is a decent place for first-time surfers. Not the best. I'll show you the best in a moment. But you get some really good surf right here, especially in the morning. Afternoons and evening, it's kind of gets blown out, especially this time of year. It's kind of funny. We got a buddy, Steve, that was the best man at our friend's wedding. He just left. He has never surfed Surfers Beach. I don't know if he sleeps in, but whatever. But like, you know, he'll sleep in, we go, we surf it, and then we pick him up. He comes back, and there's no more surf. It's just the way that the winds work. It's strange. So definitely check it out. You'll get a guy here that's selling fresh coconut water. You know, chops the top of the coconut, and you know, give you some of that there. So make sure you have a little bit of cash on you. Survival Beach. See this right here. You cannot drive to this. It is a hike. It is the most gorgeous hike in all of Puerto Rico, in my opinion. Do not hike it in flip flops. You know, make sure you have some sort of shoes or you know, sandals with a back. You'll end up ruining your flip flops if you go on it, because there's a little bit of climbing. If you're a hiker, I would say it's a moderate level hike, but you have to do it. You're going over here, you have to do Survival Beach. Wait till I show you the photos. It's fantastic. So there's a parking lot here by surfers, and there's a sign that literally says Surfers Beach, go that way. And you just hike and, you know, take a ton of pictures and see how beautiful it is. Highly recommend that. I'll stay here on the map. I'm going to show you Wilderness Beach and Punta Bariquin over here. So you end up going down here. There's a golf course right here. Right, this shaded gray is the airport. This golf course right here. It depends on what kind of car you have. If you've got just a regular sedan, you could hit Bariquin Beach, but you probably should not go to Wilderness Beach. And I got a video to show you as well. So this beach right here is gorgeous, super picturesque. It looks very similar to Hawaii or other places. So highly recommend you pull off to the right, check that out. You don't really, it's not a swimming beach. You know, you can put your feet in, but there's a current there. We snorkeled there one time and it was rough. It was cool, but it was rough, but picturesque. If you have, I see people with sedans that go down towards Wilderness Beach, but there is a risk of getting stuck. It's pretty off-road, well, kind of off-road to get there. If there's any rain that happened within the last day, you don't want to drive a sedan. We usually rent a Jeep to get down there. If you end up having a small SUV, you'll be perfectly fine. But if you continue down this path, you'll see there's an old fort right here. and really cool, picturesque. It was, I'm sorry, not a fort, lighthouse. It was knocked down back in like the early 1900s. I don't know if it was a hurricane or tidal wave or whatever, but there's remnants. Really cool, picturesque scene. If you have, if it hasn't rained, if it's dry, you could try it. Or if you have some sort of small SUV or SUV, you can continue to drive down the path, bumpy road, to Wilderness Beach. This right here, this is my home break. This is, I know this beach like the back of my hand. Some of the best waves that we've ever seen, and we traveled all over the world to surf. It's absolutely gorgeous, and really good place to learn how to surf. Um, I'll zoom in, or I'll take a picture. I'll pull up a picture and kind of show you where to go in and where to go out in case you do get stuck. But I'll go through the pictures here first. So, oh, and last one, Rincon. I think you mentioned Rincon, right? So once you get back out to 107 here, Rincon, probably, I want to say 30 to 45-minute drive from the Aguadilla area. So you're going to take this all the way down. You can zoom out. Right, and you see Rincon is right here. This edge right here. You get some really crazy waves. Depending on the day, this time of year, Rincon's going to be pretty sleepy. It's starting to wake up right here in November. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Rincon. It's, if there's a surf competition going on, it's a riot. It's so much fun. Other than that, there's a few restaurants, a couple touristy spots. The beaches are pretty just like the rest of Puerto Rico. It's not high on my list to recommend for people to go to, unless you are a big wave surfer and you want to go, you know, catch some big waves. But if it's on your list, you want to check it out, go check it out. And then the last thing right here, you got Crash Boats. I forgot to tell you that. Crash Boats is a really cool beach. This is the local beach. So this is where everybody hangs out. It's a scene. You got a bunch of food trucks there. They call it Crash Boats because there is a boat, kind of like a barge that crashed up on the rocks. You could swim to it. It's maybe a 75-yard swim. Highly recommend you have a snorkel mask to go down to swim to it, but it's still a really cool place to check out. It's a great place to beach. It's literally where all the locals hang out. So let me pull up. So here's a view from Shack's Beach. This is from one of the units at Via Tropical. Absolutely gorgeous. The water, the temperature should always be in the daytime mid 80s about. It rarely gets above 90 and above the like high 90s. In the evenings, you know, you're looking at 70s. The rain can come out of nowhere, but sounds like you've traveled a bunch, so you should be fine with that. And the water's always like 82, 83 degrees. It is fucking so perfect. This is Eclipse. This is that fancy restaurant I told you about. So when you're walking down the beach, you go here, you see all the lights lit up. That's Eclipse. Depending on if you're going on a Friday or Saturday, definitely call and make reservations. If you're not, different day of the week, you typically don't need reservations. Here's Eclipse again. This is some of the sunsets. So this part of the island is the northwest part of the island. So you'll get some real beautiful skies. You're not going to see the sun in this part of the island unless you're on the west side or by Crash Boats or Wilderness or even Rincon, but you still get some gorgeous skies in sunset in the evenings. Here's a swimming hole, right? So this is where out in front of the houses at Shack's Beach, this is the swimming hole. All this area is where you hang out. We'll bring a cooler. This all sand area here. You're perfectly fine. You see these rocks where the waters are crashing over? Do not go on the other side of the rocks. This is where the current kicks in. It's where it gets pretty hairy. You get some rip tides in here. Last year we saw some people going out there and they struggled to get back, and we're sitting there thinking like, shit, do we need to go rescue them? So it does get pretty treacherous and gnarly in here, but all this area, you're good to go. These are my photos that I take, by the way. These are not like Google photos. Yeah, so more of the swimming area. Show you again, swimming area. That's actually my buddy Kirk and Eric. I usually do a bonfire here. It sucks that you're not going to be there when I'm there because we like living it up. And I absolutely love sharing, like, recording this video for you. Like, I love sharing places that I love with others. I'm that guy where, a friend will call me up and say, hey, my cousin's coming to Chicago for the first time. Where would you recommend to go? I enjoy doing that. I love sharing the things I love with others. This is Borinquen Beach. This is the one I told you about. You don't really want to swim, but look how picturesque this is. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is Wilderness Beach. So here's the waves, you know, that we'll end up surfing. I think it's my buddy Kevin. This is out from one of our decks at Shack's Beach, right? And so you see how it's kind of shallow here. Right here is that swimming area, that snorkeling area I was telling you about. All in here, you know, it's flat rock, flat reef. You can walk out, but again, there's a lot of sea urchins you got to watch out for. So this area right here is where you could kind of walk out and start snorkeling. And what I recommend, I think I said it in the other picture, is you come out here with your snorkel mask and just float down this way to the swimming hole. Here's the old lighthouse. So real picturesque, just absolutely gorgeous. Highly recommend you check that out. This is on the way to Wilderness. This is Wilderness Beach. This is where we, you know, West County is kind of like our home break. Here's a video. This is, you'll see, we're in a Jeep. You'll see it's a little wet. If you're in a car, you don't want to do this because it's pretty rutted out. Let's see if the video will load. Come on. All right, fuck it. Video's not loading. But you can see right here, right? You know, this is a big hole that fills up with water, and it gets muddy. We actually got in trouble one time, so we turned the Jeep muddy, and instead of paying the price, we had to leave and find a car wash. All right, maybe it's gonna load. Okay, maybe it'll load. I'll come back to it. Here's another. This is Wilderness Beach. All right, so you end up getting some beautiful long waves. One reason why we love this beach so much, we continue to come back. I think this is my 11th year going back. Is the waves are just beautiful. They're slow rolling. They're long rides. They're gorgeous. The people are friendly. I was telling you this, right? Your cell phone works. They take American money. Most people, at least, you know, the beach parts of the island speak English. They're friendly. It just makes sense to continue to go back. And we've tried other places, and we continue to come back here. That's my internet here in Florida sucks. Here's some bigger waves, right? So you can get some bigger waves. It's cool to watch. We'll sometimes go out depending on how treacherous it looks. This, you know, might not look big, but this is easily a 15-foot wave right here. So you end up getting some bigger waves at times. Here's more waves of Aguadilla, or I'm Aguadilla, Wilderness. Here's Wilderness area again, right? You see it, you know, very gorgeous. Another picture of the sunset at Wilderness with the waves coming in. Oh, I don't know if you or your friend, if you worry about, you know, people, oh, sharks. I've been going here, I think it's my 13th trip in 11 years, never seen a shark here. You don't need to worry about it. Here's some more waves. I guess my video is really going to load, but you'd see, you know, decent sized waves, fun waves. If you do want to take surf lessons, there's a new company out there called PR Surf Adventures. I'm following them on Instagram. I don't know them, but I, you know, send you their link. Like a little picturesque. This is like how gorgeous it is. And this is Ololola's, right? This is the one by Shack's Beach, so my friend's own. It's all outdoor seating. It's a great vibe. It's just highly recommend. You have to go there. And like I said, go there. You don't even see. Definitely say like, oh yeah, David from Chicago, or you know, it's David Harden, and you know, they clearly know me. I'm touching them all the time. But say, hey, I was told my name is on the wall, and you get a nice surprise. So another picture of Ololola's, Shack's. You know, let me pull up Wilderness Beach because I want to show you where to get in and where to get out. Let's see an overhead. This might, nope. Fuck. Gotta bring a drone out here one time and check it out. All right, I guess I'll pull this one up here. Where is this guy? Oh, it's YouTube. Hold on. Nope, don't want to do that. Fuck, not gonna be able to show you. Anyways, when you get to Wilderness Beach, you'll notice you'll notice there are people that go into what's called a keyhole, and it's where they come out. So if you end up taking a surfboard out there, follow where you park. So that picture with the Jeep that I showed you, to the left, there's a couple sandy areas. That's where you paddle in. You'll see some more experienced paddlers park or paddle out right in front of where you park in the parking lot. That's treacherous. If you're not a experienced surfer, don't do that. They call it the keyhole. You can even talk to people. People usually friendly, like, hey, where's the keyhole? That's where you go out. That's where you come in. So again, there's sharp rocks, there's urchins when you're coming out. So let's say you decide to grab some boards and you go out in the keyhole, it's a sandy area, you paddle out, take your time paddling out, find the waves. If you're facing the ocean, to the right are usually the more bigger waves. To the left, there's smaller waves, more beginner. So stay to the left. When you're getting out of the water, you want to paddle back, take your time, paddle back to that keyhole, the same spot that you came in. If you can't get to it, and if the current ends up taking you, again, I'm facing out to the water. Actually, I guess that shouldn't work. If I am turned around, if I'm facing the beach, parking lots to the left, to the right, you'll see a wall, a small brick wall. It's maybe 10 feet tall. You'll see a brick wall. You could drift out, paddle towards that brick wall, and come out of the water on the right side, which is the south side of the water. Not on the left side, because if you're facing the beach on the left side, I've cut my hands up, cut my feet up, sharp rocks, urchins, everything else. On the right side, it's more sandy. So if you do end up getting out there, that's where you want to go out from. And then let me show you crash boats. Highly recommend you check this out as well. This pier here, the Hurricane Ian, well, Maria knocked down most of it, and then the most recent hurricane knocked down the rest of it. So this pier is no longer here. But if we're looking right here, so this is where the main beach area, right here is where the shipwreck is, right? Maybe I could pull that up. It's pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to go down that way. Yeah, here we go. Me. So you see kind of here, there's a pier right there. It's on the beach, but you can stand on it. It is rusty, so you want to watch yourself, but pretty cool to check out if that's something that interests you. So it's crash boats, went over wilderness, my notes here. If you do want to do some guided diving, there's a place called Aquatica. It's off of 110. It's by a grocery store. Our friend Jose runs the spot. He is like a world-renowned diver and paddleboarder. So something you could check out if you want to do that. I think he actually does, I think he only does scuba trips. So if you're not scuba certified, it might not work. Ololo's Eclipse. Oh, there's a bakery by the airport. The name skipped me. It's on the top of my tongue. But there's some bakeries that are around there. Went over that Surfers Beach. Oh, and Wilderness. Sometimes you get a guy who literally catches fresh octopus and goes home, makes ceviche out of it. So bring some cash for that as well. I went over Hobos. I think that's it. And then, I sent you the email with information about San Juan, Old San Juan, right? Condado is a place where like the Four Seasons are and everything else. So if you're looking for nightlife, or you're looking for kind of a scene or fancier restaurants, that's a place to go to. If you're looking for beachfront cocktails, that's a place to go to when you're in San Juan. Old San Juan has a great vibe, kind of like a Cuban vibe. Walking around is really cool. Watch yourself at night. It does get a little gnarly at night. The fort is really nice. You can walk around parts of the fort for free if you want to pay for it. We like it. We don't, it's one of those things you do it once, you don't need to do it again. But I think I sent you the rest of the restaurants there. And then the last thing, I don't know how long you're in San Juan for, bioluminescent bay near San Juan. So this is another cool thing. And it's east of San Juan. You can't swim in it, but I believe they have kayak tours. There you go, right? So you get kayak and check out the bioluminescent bay. That's also something when you're hanging out in San Juan, really cool to do. And I think you mentioned you're going to Vieques and Culebra. If you're doing that, it's just great areas. You can't go wrong with those beaches. MDAKs, all the beaches are like Green Beach, Red Beach. They're different names. I think there's one hotel on the island. So I imagine you're probably staying at Airbnb unless you're at that hotel. Not a ton of nightlife, but chances are the beaches you're going to, you'll be the only people on the beach. It's pretty sweet. So, um, yeah, that kind of covers it. Like I said, sucks that you're not gonna be there when I'm there because I do love playing tour guide. But all these different things there, you're gonna have an absolute blast. You have my number. By all means, shoot me a text or give me a phone call. I'm happy to kind of walk you through some stuff if you want to. Um, yeah, I think that covers it. Go to Olola's, Eclipse. If you're only there, like if you want two dinners, those are the two spots to go to. Cinco and a couple other places. Yeah, there's some good stuff, but those are the two joints you definitely want to go to. So cool. Have the best time, and I'll see you sometime in December.